Wave weather now. Hey, everybody, I'm Wave Storm Tracking Team Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here. We have a busy Friday night here for us as snow is falling throughout the metro area. This is a live look at our SkyTrack camera in E-Town, and you're noticing low visibility because it's snowing like cats and dogs there right now. If you have any snow reports, totals, anything you want to tell us, ask a question, you can do so on our Facebook pages, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch as well. I can see all those comments in here at the same time, so it kind of makes it easy for us to converse like that, which will be awesome. About 200 folks in there right now. And, of course, we've got our first comment. Beverly says about 2 inches of snow in Borden, Indiana, and that is right in line with our forecast to a T. I love it when it works out. I love it when a plan works out, right? Let's show you what's going on the radar right now. We've got 2 distinct bands of snow now moving through. I'll stop the motion here. One of them is a very heavy band of snow that's currently moving through areas just south and east of Louisville from Frankfort down toward just north of E-Town, down toward Bardstown. For you folks in central Kentucky, this is your snow. This is it right here. In Louisville, it's that second band that's now moving through. It's a lot lighter than the first band was. We'll still pick up just a little bit of accumulation out of the second band, but the first band put down a dusting, a coating of snow here in Louisville. We may very well end up around that 1 inch designation for snowfall. Doesn't necessarily mean the snow depth would be an inch, but the snowfall would be an inch, and I think that'll work out just fine here. Hello to Brendan, dusting in Bardstown. No surprise there. You guys are getting ready to get a whole lot more than a dusting with this band that's now moving in from the north and west there. That is a fairly heavy band that is now moving into the area with 1 inch plus per hour snowfall rates. In fact, if we want to switch over the camera to Bardstown here, I can do that because I've got all my computers all lined up, ready to go here. And let's get Bardstown on the screen. There it is. And it should be coming up here shortly. There it is. All right, so Bardstown, looks like your roads are just wet at this point, but as that snow moves in, that picture will change in a pretty big way here, probably about over the next 20 minutes or so. Kayla James says about 1 inch in Fisherville, Kentucky, extreme southeast Jefferson County. Hello to you folks down that way. Denise says, pretty lookout, but 1 inch isn't much and it will quit soon. And that's absolutely correct. The problem, though, with this is that our temperatures are going to be crashing tonight. And with that brings the potential for any moisture on the roads that are untreated to become black ice. That's no fun for anyone, right? So let's zoom out. You'll notice the cutoff of this snow is getting pretty close now. We won't see much more snow in our area after about 10 o'clock this evening. It'll be pretty much done with all of us by then, the way things are looking now. Pavement temperatures, super, super critical. Look at Seymour, Indiana. They're now down to 32 degrees on the pavement temp. And wow, look at that traffic camera there. It looks like US 50, if I'm seeing that right, is covered by snow right now. Air temperature 28, pavement temperature 32. That's Jackson County, Indiana. They have picked up potentially several inches of snow up near Seymour today. North Vernon, Mitchell, Bedford, same story there. So we go down 65 to Jeffersonville. Again, 65 is just wet in Clark County at this point. But notice the snow around the roads, kind of underneath the overpass there. You can see that the snow is there. The bridge temperature is still 33. You know, we say bridges and overpasses freeze before the roadways do, because all that air can circulate under the bridge or the overpass, causing that roadway surface to tank pretty quickly here. Becca and Frank say Litchfield's starting to see a dusting, would love much more. It's that main band coming through now for you guys here. We've got an anonymous comment from YouTube. Thanks to our YouTube viewers, by the way. That's an emerging platform for us here. Coming down at a steady rate in St. Matthews. Yes, it is. Probably the last of the snow here in Louisville now coming through. Lisa Harlow says medium-sized fluffy flakes now coming down in LaGrange. Pretty decent dusting on the ground. Not too surprising that is the case up in Oldham County. Ground is covered at my house in Taylorsville from our friend Angela Vanderberg. All right, Bluegrass Parkway down in Bardstown, 42 degrees to pavement temperature, air temperature at 33. So initially the roads will just be wet as that heavier band of snow moves through. May begin to pick up some road issues, though, that are more widespread as the night wears on and that moisture freezes. Because here's the deal. Look, Seymour is already at 27 degrees right now. Flash freeze temperature, where the water just kind of turns to ice on the roads pretty quick, is 26, 27 degrees. We're already approaching that in our northern counties, 30 in North Vernon. Louisville's at 33 right now. We've kind of danced around that freezing mark. Bowman Field's been down the freezing here. In fact, speaking of Bowman Field, let's zoom things in a little bit more. You'll see Bowman Field is at freezing at the moment. Prospects at 31, Springhurst 30. degrees. Floyd's Knobs a little higher, 500 feet elevation higher than Louisville here at 30 degrees even. Denise says, thank you for all the updates. I left at 4:30 from St. Matthews, and it was pouring sleet for 3 minutes. Yes, it sleeted like crazy today here in Louisville. In fact, it may have led to one of the crashes on 65 we had near the Snyder. Brian Good was driving down that way after he got off of work and was like, hey, the sleet is a huge problem. Even though the road temps and the air temps were above freezing, the sleet collected enough to cause it to slick up a bit. And it's those momentary bursts of wintry precipitation that can be some of the worst here. Sleeting and snowing in Bardstown, according to Rhonda Greenwell. Thanks for that report. Really appreciate that. Laura Adams. Hello, Laura. Good friend of the Wave Weather team here. 1 inch of snow in New Albany. We had some sleet in Hodgenville, according to Jacqueline. More snow for Shepherdsville. You guys are pretty much seeing the bulk of the snow moving through right now, the snow that you will see there in Shep. Central Bullock County there. I'm pulling up the radar. It just has to take a minute to get to the point where you can see it here. And as we stop the radar, let's zoom in on Shepherdsville a little bit. You guys are pretty much seeing the worst of it right now. It's starting to actually pull to your south and east, and that secondary lighter band will move through over the next, say, 25 to 50 minutes or so. Pavement temp in Oldham County. I don't have that sensor because there is no sensor there from the Kentucky Department of Transportation, the Transportation Cabinet, I should say. So only those pavement temperatures that you see on here are the sensors that the Transportation Cabinet and the Indiana Department of Transportation have available for us to pull data from here. So you'll notice that we've got 4 within our area within Kentucky and 3 functional ones in Indiana. Hello, Indiana Department of Transportation. If you're watching this evening, Scottsburg and Birdseye, you need to service those sensors. You might know about it already, but we need to show more of these from Indiana. And unfortunately, those 2 sensors are offline. Let's get you back here to the snow map, kind of the bottom line of what we're going to see this evening here. And let's see if I can pull it up here. All right, snow accumulation map. That'll pop on here in just a second. Becca and Frank, again, my brother in Edinburgh, Indiana, said they have 3 inches on the ground, still coming down. Not shocked about that. They're solidly in that 2 to 4 zone that we have here on our map. Hello, Kim. She says, hello, Ryan. Hello to you. Jeff says, heavier band just put down about an inch, 15, 20 minutes there in J-Town. Not shocked by that. I mean, that was some good, like 1 inch per hour or more snowfall rates. An inch in 15 or 20 minutes, if you can do the math, that's like a 4 inch per hour snowfall rate. Probably not that high, but, maybe 2 inches, 2.5, 3, not out of the realm of impossibility. Sue Waddell says snowing here in Eastview, Kentucky. Ethan Beverly says ground is covered with roads starting to get covered in Port Royal, Kentucky. Hello to Port Royal and hello to Ethan. Ethan, you sent me a photo on my Facebook page there of the tornado that was confirmed that moved through Port Royal in eastern Henry County. That was, of course, on Saturday morning when we had that. So thanks to you for sending that in. We got some of that information from the National Weather Service and got that tornado confirmed out there. Yes, we've gone from tornadoes to snow in about a week's time here. Crazy stuff, right? Let's see what other comments we have to talk about here. Lots of folks chiming in this evening. Thank you all for that. Of course, if you're watching us on our Wave Weather Now or Wave Now live streams, either on wave3.com, the Wave Now app on your TV, like your smart TV, or on the Wave Weather app here, you won't be able to see the comments at the bottom of the screen. You'll only be able to see them like on Facebook, YouTube, etc. from there. But we'll read the comments so that everybody can get in on what we're talking about here. Chris Bowles, good friend of our department here. Does this current ban change the forecast for counties along and east of I-65? That's a really good question. I still think, and this is primarily based on pavement temps and ground temps here, I still think we're in pretty good shape along and east of I-65. I know that band is bonkers, but it is so thin and so fast that I doubt we get more than an inch in most places that get under that band east of I-65, like Frankfort, Shelbyville, down toward Bardstown, E-Town. It's just so fast. If this were to sit over us for a couple hours, we'd be snowed in, but it's just fast, all right? Todd Good, heard thunder today, a little snow in Washington County, Kentucky. Yes, you guys had thunderstorms from Washington to Taylor to Adair counties. We had lots of thunder and lightning toward the Bowling Green area today. Yes, even a little bit of thunder snow in Carrollton. Had a viewer send in a photo of a lightning strike there on the radar from the Wave Weather app right over Carrollton as one of those heavier snow bands was moving through. Not shocked to see that. We had some thunder in the forecast for southern Kentucky, but any sort of thunder that we heard north of like E-Town was kind of a bonus today. So that thunder snow did happen at least in one place that we had some confirmation of. Sue says, once this ban gets through, will the end of the snow be here for this round? And yes, this is it. Let me give you the wide shot here. This is the end of the snow right here. This is going to cut off fast because we've got cold, dry air moving in. Louisville is right now seeing the last of the snow that we will see for this evening. By 10 o'clock, this is out of here. That's why I'm on our Wave Weather Now and Wave Now live streams as we speak to kind of usher everybody through this. And then hopefully most folks will already be at home for the nighttime and overnight hours here by about 10 o'clock or so, because that's when our temperature may drop to a point here in Louisville where we really start to gain more problems on the roads as black ice tries to form, because our winds are out of the north. Looks like 16 miles per hour right now. That's not horrible. That'll help to at least mop up the road somewhat. But with that temperature drop being so sharp, it's just always concerning. You don't want to play games with a flash freeze setup because it can be a real troublemaker. You see that North Vernon just dropped to 29 degrees, kind of demonstrating here why we are concerned about that. Destiny says snow is coming down in E-Town right now. Let's pop up our E-Town SkyTrack camera, shall we? We've got this wonderful network of SkyTrack cameras that allows us to show you what things literally look like on the ground as they are happening here. So, okay, that's the Bardstown SkyTrack camera. You can see the snow on it now. It didn't have any snow before. And let me navigate over to where we can see E-Town here. And that should be coming online just any second, if not already. Well, it looks like it's blank, right? It's not blank. Here's the problem. It's snowing so hard in E-Town right now that camera can't see anything. Like, that's bananas. That is just how hard it is snowing in Hardin County right now. I'm going to get into the interface that allows me to control the pan, tilt, zoom of that camera. I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit here, just in case we can see anything from it. And it may very well be that the camera is covered over by snow too. I'm just having that realization here because I think the snow is covering the camera. That's a shame. Boo. See, what I forgot to do before that snow band moved through was turn the camera pointing down so that the snow wouldn't accumulate on the lens. But no joy there. So yes, E-Town, it's snowing and it's covering up our camera lens there. I'll put it back on Bardstown. That camera lens is pointing down a bit, so that one probably won't be as able to have a problem with snow covering it there. All right, Bardstown's coming up just now. Boom. Okay, so yeah, you can see Bardstown pretty well there. Let's see, roads are hazardous in French Lick, says Quiana. Yes, they are hazardous up there. Anywhere north of Louisville, I would not be in love with travel right now. That is not a great idea. In fact, I'm going to put in our traffic information here, because the traffic maps that we have can show us sort of like the average speed on the roads based on a lot of data points that the traffic system is able to kind of bring in, whether it be from cell phones or sensors or things like that. All right, so there's the traffic map there. So let's zoom on up, and you'll notice that we've got a lot of yellow and orange. Whenever you see it kind of splotchy yellow, splotchy orange, that's a bad sign. And the reason for that is because it means we don't have a lot of folks on the road for there to be a lot of traffic info. But for those folks who are on the road, they're traveling pretty slowly at this time. Let's zoom on in toward Jackson and Jennings counties and see if we can do a speed query on how fast folks are traveling there. This is near Hayden, Indiana on US 50, 34 miles per hour there. Just west of Seymour, looks like we've got on US 50, if I can query this thing. There we go, 42 miles per hour. Here's I-65 southbound into Jackson County there from the north, about 36 miles per hour at this point. I believe I still have the Seymour traffic camera for I-65 here at the ready. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I do not, but that's okay because I can find it very quickly here. Just so that you can see what's going on. I've got a couple of cameras here I can put on. Here's Corridon, by the way. That's bird's eye, I should say. You can see snow on the edges of the road, but not so much on the road itself. So that's not super horrible. Let's see if we can get Corridon involved here. Here comes Corridon. That says bird's eye still. Let's see if we can find Corridon. Hey, there's Corridon. Now you can see it. Okay, you can see, I think the interstates look clear on that one. The interstate is the underpass there. The overpass is the road that you get off from the exit on 64 onto into the corridor area there near the cluster of hotels there. That looks like it's okay, but yes, definitely snow on the ground. If we can get to Seymour, aha, I found my Seymour camera. Here's US 50 in Seymour. You see it is covered by snow. It looks like some cars have been traveling on it, creating some of those tracks through it, but you'll notice that this snow is definitely on the roads, it's on the driveways, it's on the grass, and it's a pretty healthy amount of snow, it looks like, at this time as well. I'm going to pop the radar back up, and we'll do some more comments and questions. Let's see, Remy from YouTube, how bad is the wind in Taylorsville, Kentucky? Right now, your winds probably gusting somewhere near 20 miles per hour as this is moving through, if I remember from what it did when Louisville got this band here. Snowing hard in Carroll County. Yeah, you guys are pretty much on the very tail end of this. It should be finishing up right this second, if not already. Let's see, Teresa, we are having some rain here tonight. Yeah, you're probably down in southern Kentucky. No shock there. Debbie Ballard. Yes, Debbie goes way back as a fan of ours here for Wave Weather. Starting to pick up snow-wise on the east side of Bardstown. We had a lot of sleet about an hour ago. Could have sworn distant thunder. Wouldn't be shocked by that, by the way. It might have been thunder that you heard there. By the way, he sat on the deck and his butt was stuck for a few seconds. Yeah, not shocked by that either. Hello to Shane. Just pushed a stalled vehicle off of Ashby Lane. Oh my gosh. Like, holy cow. That's a big deal there. Like, no fun to have that happening here, right? Be safe if you're going to be out there this evening. Of course, we don't want folks to be getting injured or in trouble on the roads here. Let's see, Joyce says, here in Hardsburg, roads are covered, and so is my road, probably about an inch. Yep, no shock by that. And you folks are now finished with the snow, so you got about an inch. We had just under and up to an inch in the forecast for you folks down there. So, Joyce, our forecast worked out pretty well. It was fantastic. I am going to Ohio in the bad weather, says Joshua on YouTube. Yeah, because Ohio is pretty much covered by snow at this point. Snowing hard in Henry County, according to Caitlin Ferris. Caitlin Ferris, you'll notice that if we zoom on in, that you are on the very edge of the back side of this snow. So, Caitlin, your snow will be ending here pretty quickly down that way in Henry County. That heavy band dropped about an inch or so in southeast Louisville. That's about right. That was about in our forecast. After what happened Monday, we were live on here Monday night as it rained because the dynamic cooling needed for that snow to fall Monday didn't happen. That was kind of a big bummer, bust, if you will. This system was different. It had the cold air kind of built into it already. It was going to go from rain to snow, kind of regardless of what, we thought about it, just because, eventually this will turn into frozen precipitation as this cold air punches in. Is just how much were we going to get? And our forecast was right on par here. So really excited about that. Steven says, when will it end in Litchfield and E-Town? So you're right along the Western Kentucky Parkway here. You guys are wrapping up with this pretty soon. E-Town's getting smacked as we speak. That's why I can't even show you the SkyTrack camera there because it's covered with snow. I should have put it facing down. Forgot to do that today. Whoops. Litchfield, you guys are not seeing as heavy of a snowfall rate down that way. But nonetheless, it looks like you guys are going to be wrapping up with this pretty soon. So E-Town, probably about, what time is it? 8:34 Eastern now. You'll be done at about 9:15 totally with the snow there in E-Town. Probably about 9 p.m. in Litchfield, the way the radar is presenting itself at the moment. Angela Harton says, I'm in Oldham County, and the snow has stopped, but it's still raining just a bit. Now, that's interesting. You've got a little bit of drizzle there. That may be some freezing drizzle, and why is that happening? Well, if you're getting freezing drizzle right now, it's because we have lost the saturation, if you will, the moisture needed in the kind of the low and mid levels of the atmosphere where what we call the dendritic growth zone, the DGZ, is. So we don't have snow crystal formation. So we have enough moisture for it to precipitate, but not enough moisture at a high enough level to give us the snow crystals. So it's going to be some freezing drizzle there. So be very careful on the roads. Even just a little bit of freezing drizzle is a big, big bad thing to have. Jessica says, how much did Salem get? I would venture to say you guys got a couple inches up that way. In fact, what I'm going to do here, pardon me for being on my phone, but I'm going to be on the National Weather Service chat here, and we'll be able to read off some of the snow totals coming in on that platform so that you can get an idea of what we've seen here. Okay, let's see here. If I can get some of these totals here. All right, 1.4 inches of snow, Pilot Knob. This is Crawford County, Indiana. Let's see what else have we had here. Owen County, Indiana, Freedom, Indiana had 5.2 inches. That's just outside of our viewing area there. Let's see. Lagodi, one of my favorite town names in Indiana. Martin County, Indiana, 3.5 inches of snow there. Let's see here if there's anything a little bit more local that we could talk about from all of this data coming in here. At the moment, most of this is from Indianapolis. Go to a different chat room here and see if there's any Louisville stuff here. Let's see here. Here's one. We've got Georgetown in Scott County, Kentucky. That's a little closer to Lexington here. They had 0.9 on their snowboard there from the a ham operator, Ron, out there. Let's see. Lexington, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch there. Elevated surfaces are covered at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. Not shocked about that. Pretty good little burst of snow that moved through there. Ferdinand, Indiana. There we go. Du Bois County, 1.75 inches from Gary. And Sellersburg, about 0.7 inches. There may be more than that now because that report was taken at 7:31 p.m. And there was a little bit more snow thereafter with that second band that moved on through. So there's some of these snow reports. What's the temperature tomorrow for Hardinsburg? You folks may not get above freezing there, so close to like 32, 33, 34. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. Debbie says, you forgot to say it was our massive lab that was stuck on the deck. Yeah, not fun when you're trying to take the dogs outside and it's snowing like this, right? Hello, is the snow over for Louisville? Amber, yes, it is. We are finishing up as we speak. We have just a few more minutes left with a few flurries. That lighter white shade is where the flurries are, but you'll notice the darker purples and blues here. Bardstown getting rocked by heavier snow. E-Town, same story. In fact, I'm going to put on our Bardstown camera here. And again, for those just joining us here, we're just kind of going round robin around some of our live data, radar, cameras, reports, so that you can get a sense of what's happening because you don't want to be out in the snow, right? Well, thankfully, we got all the information here to tell you what's happening nearby and probably outside your window. This is our live camera, our SkyTrack camera, which you can access these on wave3.com/weather/cams. You'll notice that the snow is collecting on the grass pretty well, but the streets are still just wet. And we will see that continue to be the case for the next hour or so in Bardstown before the temperature really drops and then things become a problem. I'll pop up the temperatures here so you get a sense of just how cold it's becoming. And Seymour, 27 degrees. North Vernon, 29. Jeffersonville's an even freezing. Within the Louisville metro, if we zoom things in a bit more, it's temperatures in the near 30-degree range around Springhurst, Floyd's Knobs, Lanesville, even Bowman Fields at 32. So the roads will still be wet for a time here, and the treatment's going to help too. The bad part about today is that they really couldn't do too much on the roads for pre-salting and pre-brining because we had so much rain earlier, and that just washes it off the roads. And the bad news about having the roads being wet is that with the temperature dropping as much as it will overnight tonight, we could see a flash freeze, and that would create black ice on the roads from that prior moisture freezing up. We'll see how that works. Thankfully, we do have a bit of a breeze. That is helping things out a bit. So it's not going to be like catastrophic, I don't think, but it is a risk and one we do not want to ignore. Those are not fun events when they do have them happen around here. All right, let's look at some more of your comments here. Let's see. Evelyn Ford says the grass is covered in the Okolona neighborhood in Louisville, Kentucky. Shannon says, I just got home from I-64. Louisville to Shelbyville was okay, but the emergency lanes were covered. That's the deal. Like when they spread this brine and this salt, or if they're doing any plowing, the emergency lanes are not going to be great. So if you have to pull over, that's kind of a tough spot to be in. That's why if you're not super comfortable driving in the snow, it's best just to stay home if you can in a situation like this. Joyce says, what will the weather be like tomorrow in Auburn, Alabama for tomorrow, the big game? Unfortunately, I have not been keeping up with the Auburn, Alabama weather. I'm sorry about that, but I have a feeling they may be a little warmer than us. We'll see how that works. Let's see. Charlie Clark is chiming in from E-Town. Thank you for that. How many inches of snow are we supposed to have in Taylorsville, Kentucky, according to Remy on YouTube, our Wave YouTube channel? You guys will have just under an inch there, it looks like, by the time this is all said and done. It's wrapping up there as we speak. Mark Halford says, nothing to see here. Move along. All right, dude. Cool. Next comment. Isaac says, roads becoming snow-covered in Bardstown under this heavy snow band. Not shocked by that. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back to our Bardstown Skytrack camera. A lot of folks in Nelson County chiming in this evening because you guys have some pretty decent snowfall rates moving through there. Boom, there you go. You see that visibility is down a bit. If you look real closely, you kind of have to really like zoom in on the screen there. You'll see how in the lights, you can see like the individual lights there on the court square that you can see the snowflakes actually coming down. It's really coming down pretty good. Patricia says it's snowing in Litchfield. Yes, indeed it is. We'll pop up the radar here. Again, we're just going round robin around to our products here so that you can kind of see in real time how this is unfolding as this final band of snow now begins to exit some of our viewing area, now pushes into southern Kentucky where it's been raining all day. In fact, I'll zoom in on this. You'll see most of Louisville is now starting to dry out. Timothy Pardue says, we have an inch in Mount Washington. Yes, you do. No shock there because of that snow band that just moved through. Gary, you're funny. He said, is there school tomorrow? No, there's no school tomorrow. We can say that with 100% certainty as long as you're not going to like a Saturday class or anything like that, right? Timothy says, past 3 winters have been horrible. I want 6 to 8 inches to stick around for a few days. Once again, wait until next winter. Sigh. I know, you snow lovers out there. It's bad when we're getting excited about this, like an inch of snow here and a couple inches to the north of Louisville. But that has been this winter here. It's been kind of a blowtorch. Then we got real super cold in January. Blowtorch again. Will be blowtorch next week with highs in the 60s for at least one day there. So I feel your pain. I get it. It's no fun. Mike says, Taylor County, we got sleet and snow started around 7:30 p.m. All right. So, yeah, here we go. Taylor County. That's the Campbellsville area. Hello to you folks in southern Kentucky. We're starting to pivot into your area now because that snow band, that final band and the heaviest band of snow started to move in. I'm going to pop the temperatures on here so you can see that it's right at freezing in Campbellsville. One cautionary note about the sort of Neapolitan ice cream worth of colors here on your screen. Made me hungry just saying that. It shows that there's some rain, there's some sleet, but the problem with these colors is that these are derived from data that is making an estimate, right? So it's not actually what's happening. It's estimating where it's snowing, where it's sleeting, where it's raining. So this is mostly snow, I believe, and some sleet mixed in. Lebanon to Campbellsville, that's what you'll see. Even though it's a little green, a little purple, I think this is mostly snow here because it's just really tough for the computer data to really grasp what's going on in this sort of a situation when you're going from rain to snow so quickly. Chris has a little bit of breaking information here. Looks like 65 southbound closed at exit 76 due to a serious accident there. Yikes, that's kind of par for the course, unfortunately, with these sort of events, just because of the nature of, people kind of are bad at driving in the snow, for one, and two, it does get slick pretty quickly when you get a situation where you go from rain to snow so quickly and the temperatures start to drop pretty fast as well. So yes, use a lot of caution if you're going to be out on the roads tonight. Yes, down toward E-Town, a little bit of a traffic slowdown at this point here. Let's see if we can get the Kentucky 511 information here. Whoops, of course, I just torpedoed the radar by doing that. There we go. Let's see here if we can get on Kentucky's information here. Go.ky. And there we go. See if the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has any information about what's going on. And by the way, they do have some data that says they are treating the roads in Jefferson County right now. Shelby County, treatment is happening. Spencer, treatment is happening. Nelson, they are patrolling. They're not treating the roads just yet because I think it just recently rained down there. Into Breckinridge County, they are treating and plowing right now, according to County Emergency Management there in Breckinridge County, Kentucky. Same story in Oldham County. They are now treating and plowing roads there. Carroll County, hello to you folks up there. Treatment is ongoing. And in Trimble County, they are treating and plowing roads. Shelby County, treatment is ongoing. Grayson, treatment is happening right now. All right. So that's kind of the status of the roads at this point here. And I see it looks like, unfortunately, we've got pretty heavy traffic, Edinburgh, Indiana, near Taylorsville, Indiana, near Columbus at this time, and then additional slowdowns near the E-Town area. Lots of crashes reported, by the way, in the Lexington area here from Waze and also Gallatin County. So like, let me get the traffic map up here on our weather computer so you can see some of this. I was getting this from the Department of Transportation here. Here we go. So you can see that Gallatin County crash. So 71, not a good idea tonight. Just don't do it. You've got a crash up there near Glencoe, Kentucky. This is in Gallatin County. That's going to be a problem if you're trying to make it up to Cincinnati tonight, or if you've got friends trying to get from Cincinnati to Louisville during the overnight hours here. Probably not a great idea. You know how that elevation is. You know how susceptible it is to slide offs. It's just not the easiest stretch of road to travel when you have snow in the vicinity. And of course, you can see here in Louisville, we've got some of those yellow slowdowns. There we go, 65. Looks like in Hardin County, just north and east of E-Town there, pretty slow at this point. Let's go to our north here. Still have that same crash from Floyd County earlier. That may have been cleared. And unfortunately, our traffic data doesn't go all the way north past Columbus, but you'll see it's pretty slow on 65 in Jackson County and into Brown County, Indiana at this time. So that is what we are tracking traffic-wise. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. Tina is on the line here with us from Facebook. She says about 4 inches in Greensburg, Indiana. Yes, you guys cashed in on some of the heaviest snow totals in the region today. Indianapolis, I think, got about 5 inches of snow out of this thing. So that's about the maximum you could see out of this kind of situation here. Adam's like, all right, I'm glad everybody pretty much got snow. Now we can have spring, right? We all know that when we get into spring, sometimes we get these like wet snow events, kind of like this one here, but maybe a little bit warmer than this even. So I don't want to say like winter is completely over yet, but it does definitely not look as wintry in our 10-day forecast, which, by the way, I'm going to pop up here so that you can see what I'm referencing here. And then we're going to show some of your photos, too. I don't want to neglect that. We want to get to some of your pictures you've been sending in on the Wave Weather app, some of your videos as well, so that you can see what other folks have been seeing. All right, there's our 10-day. You see that we've got to 66 degrees there by Wednesday of next week. Next rain chance is Thursday. And then, gosh, we're back in the 60s by that next weekend. So, I mean, this is not very winter-like. Just a couple of mornings in the 20s, maybe 3 mornings in the 20s over the next 3 mornings there. And then that's about it. Do you have live views of E-Town? I did, and then the camera, unfortunately, got snowed over. So let's see if there's anything better on there now, and I don't think there is. I'll try it one more time. This is Bardstown. You're saying, yeah, that's our E-Town camera. I am so sorry about that. That is my fault. I should have pointed that camera down. I knew better. There's Corydon right now. You'll see that they have some snow on the ground there. Back to Bardstown, because that's the cool one, because it looks like folks were actually playing out in the snow. You can see some folks at the bottom of the screen there kind of playing out in the sidewalk in front of the court square. That's kind of neat, isn't it? Let's go down to Kentucky Kingdom. This is a live view of the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport. You're getting ready to see here. Boom, there it is. Of course, those snow crews are probably working overtime tonight. Starlight, Indiana, coming up next from Huber's Orchard and Winery. Boom, there it is. Not much to see because they don't have a whole lot of lights on, but there's snow on the ground underneath that light. That's why I pointed it toward it. Jeffersonville, you can see that now coming up next. That's pointing toward Louisville. There it is. And things are a lot quieter here in the metro. The visibility has really popped back up. There's downtown Louisville. There's the junction. It is moving. It looks like the roads are still just wet as expected here in the metro. They are, of course, going through and treating things in Jefferson County. Chris Parker says we have about a ½ inch in E-Town right now, and it's probably still snowing at a pretty good clip down that way. Let's put the radar back up. We'll do one more comment, then we'll get to some of your photos and videos here that you've been sending in on the Wave Weather app. Nice coating in E-Town. Yeah, you guys in E-Town, you're wrapping up with the snow as we speak. That dry air is punching in. The system's getting out of here. Louisville, Southern Indiana, we're completely finished with the snow. If you're down in Bardstown and E-Town, this is sort of the last gasp of this. If you're in Greensburg, Campbellsville, down toward Columbia, you are getting ready to see the heaviest snow that you will have seen during this entire event. Let's see here. What about the road temperatures? According to Dale here with his question, road temperatures are popping on your screen. Come on, right now. There they are. And you'll see that down toward Frankfort, 33-degree pavement temperature, 31 air temperature. Even their roads in Frankfort are still just wet at this time, all right? So this is not like, you know, the apocalypse or anything like that. The concern is later tonight when any of the moisture on untreated roads may try to freeze as temperatures drop even more. Hello to folks up there in Seymour. Your pavement temperature right at an even freezing. The air temperature at 28 degrees. Corridon, 34 degrees, 30-degree air temperature, though. And then as we go down to the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown, 41-degree pavement temp, air temps at 33 degrees. These update every 5 minutes, by the way, so this is live data here. About the same story with an air temperature of 31 in E-Town. That's a live view from E-Town. That's about the best I can give you, but you can see 65 is moving very slowly. Lots of brake lights, lots of traffic. Not ideal in Hardin County as this is coming down. I think there may be some snow trying to stick to the interstate the way that looks because of the radar presentation. It's been so heavy that you may have some slush or snow on the roads down that way. Western Kentucky Parkway near Litchfield, not looking the best. Pavement temp at 41 degrees, air temp at 31. Again, if your pavement temp is above freezing, you can still have snow accumulate to it if the snow is falling hard enough because it can overcome some of those warmer pavement temperatures. All righty, let's see. According to my ruler, we've got 10 inches of snow in Taylorsville. LOL. No. I think you've got like an inch there in Taylorsville. Jarrett's like, did you just lose volume? I don't think I did. Looks like my mics are on. Should be able to hear me. I haven't had anybody else ask about volume here, so we should be in pretty decent shape. Let's see. Forrest says, hey, the wild onions were growing in my yard with all the warm weather, and some trees were budding out. I hope this doesn't mess them up. Yes, we've had some of our flowers, like our tulips, coming up in the weather garden, and I'm like, this isn't great getting temps down into the lower 20s the next couple of mornings here. So I am by no means a botanist, an arborist, a plant person, but you get the idea here. That could be detrimental to some species of plants getting that down there. Okay, I want to show you a few of our photos that we've had sent in. I'm going to get that configured here so that you can see what other folks have been seeing today. All right, looks like I can refresh this page here, and I'll try to pull up some of your pictures. Once we get it all refreshed here, we'll be able to show those, and I'll put them live here on your screen. Okay, this first photo is from, let's see here if I can get it to work. There we go. Maybe. You gotta love technology, right? It's always kind of a challenge. There we go, LaGrange, Kentucky. And this is from our friend Judy. Judy in LaGrange, Kentucky here. Let's pop that photo up. Boom. There you go. You can see it there. Take my name off the screen. Looks like they've got some snow right on the surface of the kind of the grass there, kind of under the trees, but you'll note that like the pavement is still wet, so not that detrimental to travel there at the moment. Let's see. Ooh, that's a pretty snow picture. Where is that from? And that is from, looks like Port Royal, Kentucky, from Ethan. Ethan's on this live stream right now. Thank you for submitting to our Wave Weather app. You are really good at submitting photos and videos to us. You are fantastic, in fact. Here's a snow video that you'll see. I'll see if I can put that full screen. Look at that. Yeah, it looks like it's sticking to the deck there. It looks like there's an above-ground pool. That pool cover it's sticking to at this point. Some of the deck stairs as well. And this one comes to us from Hillview. Thank you, Kim from Hillview, for sending that one in. Oh, that's a pretty shot. That's like a long exposure, so it looks like daylight, even though it's not. And that one came to us from Sean in Pee Wee Valley. Another video here. Let's see. Ooh, looks like we got a chicken coop cam here. Nothing says Kentucky like a chicken coop cam, right? I love that. Thank you for sending in that security video there. You can really see real well the snow coming down there. Let's see where this is from. It's kind of a clunky interface, so I apologize for kind of popping up the photo then telling you where it's from. That's not the easiest thing. This is 5 miles south of Bardstown from Benny. I'll show it again. Let's see if I can reverse that process to make it easier for you folks to see there. Thank you to Benny, just south of Bardstown there. Ooh, looks like we've got a snow measurement there, and that snow measurement is from Bessie in Brownstown, Indiana, showing us there that snow measurement. Looks like 2¼ inches roughly from down there. Remember this photo from earlier? I think this was up near, let's see where it was. Yeah, Williams, Indiana. That's just west of Bedford and Mitchell. And I think this one, let's see if I remember that from earlier. That was from Little York, Indiana, from Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. This next video I'm going to show you is from Brian. He did not give us a location, but I think it's from Indiana. Somewhere in Indiana is where that snow was falling today, a little earlier, just before sunset, I'd venture to say, maybe just after sunset, 6:30, somewhere around there. Very pretty white, fluffy snow. Again, this is somewhere in southern Indiana. Thank you to Brian for sending this in. I don't know where you're at, Brian, because you didn't put the location, but Brian Richard is the name there. We'll show you one more photo here. See if we've got any more pretty ones. Maybe a video. That's from earlier. Where was this from? Frankfort, Kentucky. Hello, Franklin County. That was the snow coming down a little earlier today when the initial burst of snow moved through. There may have been some sleet in that as it happened, and that was from Amanda Rucker. Thank you to Amanda. All right, back to the radar we go, and a few more of your questions. We're going to go for about 5 more minutes here. I promised to kind of give you a 45-minute long sort of review of what's happening here, just because we want to make sure that everybody is kind of understanding. Oh no, I lost connection to my weather graphics computer here. Everybody understands kind of how this is going to go tonight as this thing kind of wraps up here. Let me get my graphics computer control back here. Again, we got to love technology, don't we? Here we go. Let's see if we can do that. There we go. We got it back under control. Okay, so let's get some more of your comments that'll help guide our conversation. Lots of snow on the ground, I'm assuming, from Whitney Plum and North Vernon. Yes, you guys are all done there. Let's see. As Boys to Men says, let it snow here in Shelbyville from Marla. Thank you, Marla. Appreciate that Boys to Men reference. Man, you're taking me back to my childhood here. Snow has stopped here in Bedford, and the roads are clean because the road crews are awesome. That's why. They've been treating and plowing up there in Trimble County over the last couple of hours. Coming down pretty good in Glendale. Let's zoom in to the Glendale area here. Boom. There's Glendale right on 65. Yep, you guys have kind of that last little spurt or kind of burst of snow now moving through there, now moving into LaRue County. And for you folks down in like Campbellsville, Greensburg, down toward Adair County, your snow is moving through and moving in now. The worst of the snow now getting ready to come your way. Thanks again to Teresa for that report from Glendale. Okay, we've got Hardin County Sheriff's Office with a level 1 snow emergency for the road conditions from Jennifer. Thank you for that report. Appreciate that. Not great to be out in a situation like this. Look, I know the roads are above freezing. It's mainly just a wet road initially here, but as that temperature comes down overnight tonight, that's when we're concerned about the black ice risk for all of this moisture on the road trying to freeze. And that is just not ideal, right? All right, guys. We are kind of wrapping this thing up here. We're going to do a little bit of round robin of some of our data here for you folks who are on the line from Southern Kentucky. Again, we're done with the snow here in Louisville and Southern Indiana. If you're in E-Town and Bardstown, the snow is wrapping up for you as we speak. The snow is now hitting Campbellsville, Greensburg, and soon to hit Columbia, Kentucky. Pavement temperatures here in the metro still above freezing at this time. In fact, the bridge temperature for the bridge into Kentucky from Jeffersonville right now on I-65, that would be the Kennedy Bridge, is at 33 degrees, so just above freezing. So good news there. And as that happens tonight, as we see that temperature continue to decrease, we will see more problems on bridges and overpasses first, then those traditional roads that are kind of hugging the ground level thereafter. Go back to our main pavement temperature screen here. Let's see. What is Hillview looking like tonight according to Kala here? And Hillview, you guys are done with the snow, but you may get some of that black ice, unfortunately, if the moisture on the roads doesn't get mopped up. And again, these are untreated roads that would have the problems. Treated roads are going to be in fine shape. The temperature won't be too low for that treatment not to work. So road crews are going to be doing a great job overnight tonight, making sure that we can be as safe as we can be here. 40-degree pavement temperature there, Western Kentucky Parkway in Litchfield. And, of course, the air temperature down there is much, much colder than that. I'm going to pop on the metro view of these pavement temperatures to get a finer look at the Louisville area here. Bear with it for just a second. Custom data takes a minute to load. That's just kind of how it is. There it goes. That obviously one of these sensors is not working because it's not 50, that's for sure. But there's the I-65 at Jeffersonville once again. We can get the Snyder at Westport Road here, 37-degree pavement temperature, air temperature at 30, 40-degree pavement temperature, I-264 at Taylor Boulevard. That road looks just wet, but notice you can kind of see it. Maybe I can mark this up. I might be able to. If I put this on the flat view, I can. Look at the shoulder right here. You can see where there's snow on the shoulder of the Watterson at Taylor Boulevard here, all right? So it looks like that the road has been treated. It may have been plowed. I'd likely just treated here just because the road temperature is warm enough that the treatment would respond well there. But as we go over toward the Corydon area, you'll see that they have a pavement temp of 34 degrees. These pavement temps will continue to crash overnight tonight, and that's our concern with the black ice part of this whole thing. Let's see, Megan says, who thinks 65 south should be good by morning? I got to go south tomorrow, and I don't want to miss it. So I think the road crews will have plenty of time overnight tonight to get things mopped up. There's a couple wild cards here. One, will they be able to treat every stretch of I-65 South? I think they will be able to overnight tonight. I don't see why not. But the problem is if there's any sort of big wrecks that take several hours to clean up, that could delay things. So you want to be careful. Check, of course, the Wave Weather app. We have live traffic in there to see how things are on 65. They're going to have a lot of time before you wake up to get those roads under control, even as the temperatures drop. But the temperatures will drop to a point where untreated roads are going to be a problem in the morning. So like your side streets, your neighborhood streets, that's going to be a problem. How is it colder in Louisville on pavement temperatures when temperatures are a little warmer? It just depends on the sensor because we have two different sensor networks, one in Kentucky, one in southern Indiana. They're both a little bit different in how they measure the exact temperature of the road surface. They're all pretty close, which is good. But generally, it's a little colder outside the city usually compared to inside the city because of the urban heat island. You can have things that throw that off, like evaporative cooling if you get a heavy snow band that moves through Louisville. So a lot of factors at play there, but this will uniformly be getting colder as we go throughout the overnight. Oh, there's Ethan again, our friend Ethan Beverly. I think we got about an inch of snow in Port Royal. That's eastern Henry County, Kentucky. Yep, that's about right. Again, the snow forecast has been pretty good today. Really excited about that. I know everybody was disappointed on Monday, but, feather in the cap here for our Friday night snow forecast. Monday was so different because it was a dynamic cooling event. Those can go wrong very quickly. Those are incredibly tough. Between that and an ice storm, that's one of the most difficult things we can forecast. The computer models do a terrible job with it. Just straight up not good. But this kind of a system here where you go from rain to snow, it's also not surefire, but it's a whole heck of a lot easier than a dynamic cooling event because this one, at least you have the cold air punching in and undercutting the precip, giving you that snow. So this was a little easier to forecast, and that's why things went about the way they should have given our forecast here. All right, folks, it is 9:03. We're coming up on 9:03 at least here, and we are going to be signing off here so I can get a little bit of a break before Wave News at 11. We're going to go over some data on how cold it's going to get tonight. We'll continue to ingest your photos and your reports and show some of those on Wave News at 11. And, of course, we'll make sure to let you know if there's any sort of big problems that the black ice causes on sunrise in the morning with Carson Meredith, our new meteorologist. This is his third weekend here at Wave. He's from Louisville, Middletown area, went to Male High School and WKU. He'll be on in the morning, but I'll be with you tonight on Wave News at 11. Have a very safe evening, everyone. Please be careful if you have to be out. And if you don't have to be out, then find a warm drink, cozy up next to the TV, and enjoy the snow that's outside your window on the ground. All right, folks, that's it for now on Wave News. Meteorologist Ryan Hoke, and I will see you on Wave News at 11 tonight. Good night, everybody.